Good evening, everyone, and welcome back in. Tonight we have the grand finals match of the ECAC's Open Marvel Rivals Tournament. I'm your caster Inferno, joined once again by my fellow caster Althea and our observer Beldia. How you doing tonight, Althea?
I'm doing fantastic. We've been building up to this night since January, and boy, am I excited. Two fantastic teams that we've seen throughout this entire series now. FIU Panthers versus Ohio State Buckeye Gaming Collective. Overall, we've seen these players, we've seen what they're capable of, and I am really looking forward to tonight's match.
I absolutely am as well. We're seeing the picks or the bans and the saves phase come through right now. The Star-Lord for Ohio State to start it off, followed by the Winter Soldier from FIU Panthers, both very strong DPS. We're seeing the Psylocke save from Panthers, another very strong DPS. Could do some great work. We've seen it before. And the Loki save as well from Ohio State here.
Yeah, I mean, these teams definitely have their strengths, like we've seen before. We can looking at just Ohio State here. We've seen Dez hover this Panther blankets, not usually on the Bucky, typically on a Luna, and so that's unsurprising. Why we see that Loki save is getting that Loki with the Luna Snow is a fantastic team combo. Laoki, I believe we typically see them on maybe an Invisible Woman on the off support. Lava. Wouldn't be surprised if we see either the Thing or Magneto pick. For FIU, however, they are going to keep this Human Torch, ban the Groot. Groot, definitely a common ban. Typically, we see the Torch banned from one side. So I'm wondering if FIU, if this is just kind of a threaten, or if it's going to be one where they plan on actually running him.
Yes, certainly has a lot of area denial, great control in the sky for that DPS. Did get some recent buffs going into Season 2 here, looking hotter than ever. And we might see that pick coming out from FIU's. The Invisible Woman ban coming out of Ohio State, I'm liking. We've seen it pretty consistently since Season 2. Very strong support. The Luna Snow save coming out, like you mentioned, with that Loki ult, being able to copy that Fate of Both Worlds. You could have up to, I think it's 24 seconds of that Luna Snow ult if you pop them correctly. And that's just incredible to see. That's so much sustain. No one's dying in that. And with the Rocket Ban as well, we're likely just going to see a mirror match on that strategist.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say maybe the next best support is the Rocket, but that's going to be out. Invisible Woman's out, and with those two gone, it's going to be that Luna and Loki combo is just going to be what the team needs. There's a possibility of the revive comp coming through with the Atom, running maybe the Atom, the Mantis, and then typically a Star-Lord. I know we've seen Dez do some work on that, and I believe Bendy for FIU. And typically, though, that double support is usually ran with a third, usually maybe an Invisible Woman or a Rocket. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that pulled out. Looking at FIU, they're going to be rocking with this double Gamma team up, something we haven't seen too common. Typically, one of those are banned, either the Namor or the Hulk, but they're going to be using both the Iron Man and that Namor team up, and that's going to be some crazy damage come out from FIU.
It certainly will be. We saw Bendy very excited to get out that front door there. We have blankets on the Luna Snow, Laoki on that Loki. We were calling it in spawn here. Ohio State starting out with Dez as well on that Hawkeye. I like the pick. We saw it last week as well when they were fighting against Purdue. Do some great work. We have that forward hold here by the side of FIU, starting with a pick on the Dez, but two immediately come through for Ohio State, putting their numbers up and starting capping the point.
Yeah, important to note, Barthy and Grifty with this fastball special team up, possibly getting some nice value. Not sure if they used it there, but I mean, already we can see just the power of this Wolverine with the Groot band. You're definitely gonna not really worry about the Wolverine being up as much, maybe not ban it. However, that doesn't mean that it's not a threat, and we can definitely see that now, especially where FIU doesn't have their second tank as a thing. That's going to be two very vulnerable targets to be grabbed. Dez finds a beautiful headshot onto Gioran, and immediately that's going to push FIU back before the fight even starts.
Yeah, like we were saying, on that Hawkeye pick, just being able to pretty much one-shot those squishy targets. It's a matter of just finding out which Loki is the player and executing that headshot. We saw it perfectly land there from Dez. And yeah, Ohio State now at 50% and holding so far up. It's looking very rough for Panthers to break this choke now, with Ohio State especially in this forward position, actually just giving up enough space to let Panthers come through, but now meeting them at that choke.
Yeah, but we do see some crucial swaps, such as Bendy onto this Psylocke, Angry onto the Thing. Definitely a pick to help with that dive onto the Hawkeye and not get pulled by that Wolverine. However, still, I mean, 75% now. They're still dying before the fight even starts. They're going to be down on ultimates because of these swaps. Ohio has 5 up. FIU actually is going to have 6 up, but I think this is going to come down to a last 10% overtime ultimate dump.
Yeah, we're going to see it come out there. The clobbering time from Grifty will get a response from Flaky's. Beautifully timed to keep the whole team alive. Now pushing on to point, gets met with blankets, Fate of Both Worlds now. As we were talking about, but going into this, it's hard to get a kill in there, but we see Dez land 2, putting Ohio State up in this fight. A Meteor M will not claim Laoki, as Dez and Farthy find the rest of the picks, and OSU will take this first round.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be many members or a strange portal to get that contest, and that is a beautiful hold from Ohio. I want to point out right at the beginning of that, I believe we saw Farthy hitting a beautiful clobbering time to cancel FIU's Loki ult, which just immediately, I think, just put it at 50%, ended the fight early, and from there, FIU being down that support ultimate is going to make a big difference, especially when you have Dez on that Hawkeye, not missing a shot. I mean, we see 60% accuracy. That's pretty good, especially when you're just spamming down those chokes. And the tanks can definitely feel it. I wouldn't be surprised if FIU is looking at a Hawkeye ban for the next map.
Yeah, it's proven to be very difficult pushing anywhere. Once that Hawkeye gets set up, he's in a forward, or he's in a nice position where he can hold it with his tanks playing that front line and laying down that damage, securing those kills. It's just too crucial not to ban, I feel. And we will have to see if Panthers are going to side with that, or if they don't have a response for it here, making some swaps going into the second round.
For sure, and FIU, I mean, they were looking a little rough on that first map. I don't think they got any progress, but that's not to put them down. Both these teams, I mean, they're in the grand finals here fighting for this $600 prize. Farthy finding a beautiful pick onto Gioran immediately, just getting some nice pulls and really showing the strength of this Wolverine. CC doesn't matter for them as well, still finding Angry Cran. And it looks like Ohio is already up in this again.
It's just looking like too strong of a push. And then once Ohio State gets control of that point, they're already starting to play up. They're pushing up, trying to secure these kills. We see Farthy and I believe it's Lava up there right now. Yeah, it's just great control coming out from OSU. Pretty much saying, if you want to get close to this point, you're gonna have to take some damage. We see it there, but Flaky's gonna start the dance party, keeping FIU alive, and now walking to the point.
Yeah, Laoki will answer with one of their own. Dez pops this Hawkeye ult, just getting some nice damage down, but with multiple support ults out, it's not going to do much. Meteor M doesn't find much. Clobbering Time finds 2. You see the last stand come out as well, find Linear, and now that's FIU down 3 members, falling back, and Ohio is still up in this, not losing a single member of that fight and committing 4 of their ultimates.
Yeah, when you get to an ultimate trade like that, Feels like you can never really use enough before the enemy dies. And now Panthers will have some available, while Ohio State is just a little shy on anything that's going to be able to keep them alive. We see the Supernova come out early from Oleg. Bendy does have that Dance of the Butterfly available, but I think they're going to choose to hold on to it as the picks are coming through, but not before Dez gets his with that pick onto Gioran.
Yeah, Gioran's definitely feeling it this game. FIU I think did a great job of pushing this fight here. Bendy found an early pick onto Farthy, and without that Wolverine, the pressure on your tanks is just heavily down, and that just allows them to push up without too much pressure. And I definitely think that's why FIU were able to just walk that down this time. Clobbering Time comes out from Angry, finds two. Not going to finish any kills, though. However, they're still going to have lots of damage down. Ohio State on the defense for the first time is definitely going to make it harder. They have ultimates ready to go.
Okay, we have a dance battle on point right now. Going to be very tough to get any kills through this, but Lava will find Bendy, who did not commit that Psylocke ultimate. Did die with it. Meteor M pop for Linear. Finds Dez. And now we're having this fight on point where it's looking like Panthers are up. Laoki swapping into that Luna Snow for the Fate of Both Worlds one more time. We're seeing the opposite from Gioran doing it for the side of Panthers. Dance of Butterflies comes back, gets some kills, but the point has not swapped from FIU's side.
Yeah, with a pick onto all of them now, Angry Crayon cleaning up a few picks, and I think FIU are now going to hold this at 70%, and that's looking really strong for them. They did a phenomenal job there, and I think that was just the ultimates and the ability to extend the Luna Snow ultimate as well as the Loki copy just as long as possible. Definitely had the advantage in the fight. Ohio going to be making some swaps. Dez on the Black Panther now, definitely going to be playing a little more aggressive. Clobbering Time comes out, finds three. Lava and Farthy falling low, not dying yet. 96% though, and Oleg's finding some amazing picks. No contest from Ohio, and that's FIU now bringing this map to 1-1. Not over yet.
It absolutely is. And with the picks coming through like that, the team playing like FIU is playing now, they could turn this around, take this first map off of Ohio State as they were up in that map. I mean, they were up in percentage for a while there too, and then Panthers just turned on the burners. Once they got control of that point, it looked almost impossible for OSU to even get close. The picks were coming through just too well for FIU, and Oleg on this Human Torch showing why it should be a must ban for either team here.
Yeah, exactly. It was something I questioned of FIU did make the save on it. Does that mean they're just using it for the almost the flex save to maybe stress Ohio out a little bit? And that we did see that Invisible Woman ban in response. Or are they going to run it? And we do see that now. Oleg making some valuable work of that. Ohio making now swaps, hopefully adapting to it. I think Grifty on this Strange could make a pretty big difference with this double shield. Farthy especially might have a little bit of a harder time now on this Wolverine. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a swap a little early on, but I'm not one to judge. I'm excited to see how it'll work out first.
We do see the Panthers up top here trying to play their high ground as Ohio State is already on this point. We're seeing the drop now come through. Oh, just shy. Farthy just barely missing that pull. Bendy finding a very nice first pick onto Laoki. Forces Blankets to get in there with that Fate of Both Worlds, keeping everyone on Ohio State up now. The last stand did come out from Farthy there. We're seeing this fight up top, and now the picks come through for Ohio State, leaving the point pretty much open to cap now.
Yeah, that was a beautiful ult from Farthy. I think that found three in the air. Beautiful stuns, some opening picks as well. I know Bendy fell early to Lava. Phenomenal job there. And now that is going to be Ohio up in this fight. And I'm wondering, is that the advantage of these swaps, or is it just the ultimates and the pick advantage? And I'm going to opt with the latter there. FIU really just kind of sat on that. Now going to be pushing into this next fight with 6 ultimates compared to Ohio's close to 4. definitely going to have the ultimate advantage, and I'm expecting to see a long hold on these support ultimates, making them last to ensure the final survivability in the fight.
We saw some good damage coming down there for the side of Panthers. Nothing came through just yet. Farthy actually picking up Georan through the Fate of Both Worlds. The Eye of Agamotto from Grifty came down during it as well. Dance of the Butterflies now from Bendy, trying to do anything, but meanwhile, Ohio State just cleans up the rest of the picks, and that will be them at 50% and climbing now. Looking very good on this third round.
Yeah, doing a phenomenal job. Laoki having that Loki ultimate just in time. And now that was a very good cycle as well, because now they're going to have this Luna Snow ultimate ready to answer. Georan as well, going both ways. Meteor M comes out as this Supernova as well. Grifty will actually find Angry Crayon, and that's a quick pick. Bendy finds Dez down at DPS. And then both of these dances are going to come out now.
Yeah, we do see Laoki with that nice Loki clone setup up top there, doing great work for the side of OSU. Now they're pushing forward, getting aggressive, using these ultimates. I'm not sure if... No, they will just pull back, get back to point. And now this will be the overtime fight for FIU Panthers here. They have to win this one if they want a chance at winning the map. And that's just how you do it. Cleaning up the team that quick, and that's how you swing the point.
Yeah, beautiful clobbering time from Angry Crayon, and a beautiful Dance of the Butterflies from Bendy. I think we saw Linear start this strange portal, which is a little unfortunate. Would have been helpful for the overtime. However, FIU doesn't matter too much. They got a phenomenal flip, but now they're going to want to hold this all the way to the 99 if they want to make this, get this map. Ohio's going to get a quick portal here, going to act fast, has Eye of Agamotto ready, but Flaky's is going to have a beautiful reaction time with this Luna Snow ultimate, going to keep the team up for quite some time, waiting for Georan to build the copy, 90%, and they're already up in picks.
Yeah, that was a great fight from the side of FIU. Flaky's with a nice timed Fate of Both Worlds to be able to run off that Eye of Agamotto. And then after that, the picks just came through. Now about at 50% of their own, working up to this 99%, doing a good job. They do have two ultimates ready, building up to this third one from the Human Torch now. As I think this fight's just going to rely on these picks here. We saw an early one from Dez, a second one from Dez. Georan forced this Fate of Both World out as the Meteor M goes high and finds Flaky's. Ohio State with a coordinated attack onto point will claim it right back.
Yeah, they're not going to have the strange portal now for the contest. The next best thing they have is Angry Crayon, just throwing themselves at point. Linear as well, going to get pulled down by Farthy's ultimate, and that is going to be this first map in favor of OSU, and a phenomenal retake as well.
It certainly was, and I mean, coming out of that lowers bracket, they did lose to get put in there to FIU. This is a rematch. They are back for blood, and judging off of how that first map just went, I'm sure they're here to do it, take that first place spot, and all they need now is 2 more games just like that, and OSU could do it.
Yeah, it is best of 5, so it is going to be first to 3, and OSU, like you said, they played FIU in the semifinals, lost 2-3, so it was a very close game, went to map 5. I wouldn't be surprised if we get there again. OSU here to make a stand and come back strong. One in the losers bracket, they're here now, battling for this prize. First place gets $600, second place gets $400, but obviously you want that bigger prize pack. OSU, phenomenal job in that map. I think FIU had some great work. It just felt like occasionally in the fights there was always a very early pick in favor of one of the teams that would really just decide the fight from there. Occasionally when that didn't happen, it would just come down to some large ultimate combos, but other than that, it felt like occasionally we'd see Bendy falling or one of the supports going down each time. And I think that's a big say to the other side's DPS as well. That Hawkeye and the overall just DPS capability that they have to get these one-shot combos, using that Wolverine to pull a tank out of position, definitely going to reflect on what we see in these picks and bans now.
Yeah, and it's good to mention that the supports, some of these strategist ultimates are just so crucial in these team fights. We're seeing flakies, we're seeing blankets with the Luna Snow ultimates, the fate of both worlds on the point pretty consistently. And when they're not doing it, we have Laoki and Georan with that God of Mischief to copy that fate of both worlds. And then they're having a dance battle of their own. And just overall, the sustainability in these fights is incredible. So it really just drives home how well these teams have to play, how coordinated they have to be to land these kills, secure these final blows, and all in all, win the map, win the rounds. And we saw Ohio State do it on that first one, and I'm sure FIU is going to be looking to take this second one off of them.
Yeah, for sure. Going now into Convergence, we've seen what these teams are capable of on this map. Obviously, one thing that comes to mind for me is Dez. I think on the Widow occasionally, Lava. I believe we always see just a beautiful Magneto ult. I'm just really looking forward to. Really, right now, what are they going to choose to pick and ban? We already see some possible Thor hovers. I'm assuming maybe not, but from Ohio State, I'm gonna go for their standard. Yeah, going for their standard Star-Lord ban. That's to be expected. I believe Ohio is one of those teams that doesn't always entirely adapt to the ban, but instead just picks what they know doesn't work.
Yeah, we could certainly see that. Sometimes it is better to just ban what you are comfortable with. It's what your team has practiced with. You know what the other team runs. They're going to disable that Star-Lord. We're seeing the Winter Soldier again come out from FIU, as well as that the Human Torch save again. We saw that later on. Maybe they're thinking Ohio State will ban that this time, taking it out of the hands of Oleg. But instead, they're going to go for that save, and Ohio State with another massive save with that Luna Snow.
Yeah, for sure. Seeing now, definitely did a lot of the work in that last game with the Loki. Gonna stay with this Invisible Woman ban, definitely in response to the Human Torch. Already a very strong pick from FIU. Having that extra shield and survivability on the Torch is only gonna make it worse. Invisible Woman definitely a good ban. FIU as well is gonna be banning this Loki now, leaving up possibility for maybe a rocket. I think they were the ones that banned it last time, but typically Loki's that second support we get with the Luna if it's not banned, or Invisible Woman. But I mean, yeah, it looks like we're banning most of the roster. Gonna be picking that Hela as well. I like that.
Yeah, saving that Hela, I think, is going to be a crucial part. FIU certainly likes to run it before. I'm curious to see really what this second save is going to be for Ohio State. We saw them with the Loki and the Luna last time. Loki being banned here, they are going to opt for another strategist, that being Rocket Raccoon. And I was thinking, with this Loki banned, are they going to go for the Luna Rocket? Are they going to go for the Luna Cloak and Dagger? The Invisible Woman is taken out as well. And I think right there, it might be telling that it is going to be that Rocket Raccoon we're seeing.
Yeah, and I mean, if that Star-Lord wasn't banned, I wouldn't be surprised if we were seeing that kind of res comp, although it is possible, I guess, with Hela and Thor, with the Rocket now. But overall, Rocket's utility is just too good to give up. Definitely going to be much more helpful for the tanks as well for falling early. Looking at their picks now, Dez is definitely going to make advantage of that. Okay, I was going to say take advantage of that Hela pick.
Oh, we got some hovers
I'm
going
gonna wait. They're really jumping around. I'm gonna wait a second.
Give them a minute. They're deliberating. They're going through all their comps and strategies. They're looking in their playbook right now. What's gonna work? What's gonna work? But it is good to note that FIU did ban that Hawkeye. saying, Dez, you guys figure out your strategy, but there's going to be no Hawkeye in play. I think that is a godsend for their strategists, as we saw both of them, as well as some of the DPS too, and even the tanks get picked by that Hawkeye. It was just looking a little too lethal from Dez.
Yeah, definitely. And I think especially with the Thing and the Magneto, you're just going to get so much damage down. You're going to get that free charge, and then it really doesn't go well into, or it does go really well into the Loki as well. Just having those clones to charge it up on just standing still targets to build that charge on the arrow, get some nice damage. That being out of there, the Loki being out of there, unsurprising. However, now this Groot is available, and I believe Wolverine is too. Lava finding a beautiful early pick on the depth. Sorry, Oleg, but will get rezzed as well. Though still looking low.
Yeah, a very nice first pick, taking down that res beacon. Now, a 45-second cooldown for that to be back up and available, I believe. Ohio State on this high ground did make that first pick, but now kind of stagnant on that high ground. Bendy being able to capitalize on that, find a pick. We see Grifty falling critically low and falling. Farley with a nice pick. We're seeing, it's just not too much on the point. Ohio State getting these picks now. And there with that Sia coming down from Laoki. I think that'll be just what they need to get on this point.
Yeah, I was looking a little rough for a minute. I really liked FIU's position, especially Bendy in the back. But I think that Laoki just getting that Cosmic Yarn amplifier down so early with no responses from FIU. I mean, they were just 10% off, 4% off of Oleg's ult from a response. Just very unfortunate timing for them. Ohio State now making a very efficient cap of that. 5 minutes to get this second point.
Yeah, that's a very nice time bank if you're the side of Ohio State. Really lets you push into this. If something doesn't work, you have plenty of time to change. We saw the final judgment from Farthy almost pick up some kills, but Flaky's once again with a perfectly timed Fate of Both Worlds to keep everyone alive. But now that leaves Ohio State open to use their own Luna Snow ult, as they do have the upper hand now, pushing back up with blankets and retaking all the space that FIU just got.
Yeah, that Goddess of Death now is going to come out from Bendy, and that's going to be get shredded though, but that's going to be a nice way to retake some space. Farthy out now. That's a lot of pressure off of your tanks. We can see that now as FIU is making this space, but it might be a little too much as Laoki's Cosmic Yarn Amplifier comes out. Eye of Agamotto comes out, finds Bendy. Final Judgment as well, but it's going to get shredded by Dez. We'll get res. Now Dez popping this Goddess of Death. Gonna get eaten by the Meteor. M from Lenier. Beautiful eat. Won't find anything though. And that's a lot of ults from either side. No picks down yet. Blakey's still sitting on this support ult. Blanket's close as well. Picks going either way.
Blakey's, because they used it so early on in that last fight, they have it right now for this fight perfectly in time. Keep everyone up. But now we're seeing the rotation come back through. Blankets pops at second, trying to keep everyone on Ohio State alive. But we see Oleg find one. Dez respond with a pick of their own. And yeah, this fight, I mean, the payload has pushed all the way up, but this fight has just been everlasting. We saw the strangling prison from Angry Crayon there. With the help of the wall, will pick up blankets. And now I think Panthers are finally putting a stop to this push from Ohio State.
Yeah, I think a big part of that was Oleg on that high ground and the turret behind, just forcing some of the members of Ohio to turn around. Definitely is going to be a big player, forcing them to back up, and then from there, Angry Crayon with that Groot ultimate to just secure blankets. With that Luna Snow down, you're definitely going to want to fall back and regroup. Now it's up to FIU to continue this hold, looking pretty strong as well. I mean, 5 ultimates ready, hits 3 though, with this Eye of Agamotto from Grifty. That only finds Oleg, and Flakies will have this ultimate ready to go once again.
That was crazy. We saw just a footstep. Gioran sniffed it out. Maybe put a stop to Grifty's plan, as now FIU responds with some ults of their own. stopping this push even harder, killing any momentum that Ohio State had. I think this could be really good for Panthers here to get this foot, dig their heels in the sand here, stop this push, and really make Ohio State have to get back up, get these kills, commit some of these ultimates to even get back to this point. I think could be very good for the side of FIU here.
Yeah, definitely. I do want to say I think a big player in this is just the combination of this Punisher with the Hella and the Groot. The Groot just throws these walls up now, gets some nice setup for the DPS, and then from there, as soon as Ohio uses their resources to bring the walls down, they're just going to be getting shredded. They do have Grifty to try and push up with the walls, but still, I mean, it's going to be real hard to push into a Hella and a Punisher. So we now see Punisher ult come out from Farthy, Meteor M as well, Cosmic Yarn Amplifier, ultimates from a lot of Ohio State. No members found yet. Strangling Prison will come out, and that'll be the finisher for Grifty. And that's going to be 5.
Yeah, popping those ultimates, they are able to win that fight, and I believe cap this second point here, but not before FIU drained their bank. Don't forget they had, 5 minutes going into that, drained all the way down to 45 seconds there. Now only have about 2 minutes to make this last point work. And we're seeing Panthers with these ultimates available now, ready to counter ult Ohio State and put an end to this push.
Yeah, definitely. Bendy finding that pick on a Farthy is going to be huge. FIU is trying to make a quick stop as they use this final judgment as a way to shut down the push, although Lava will find Oleg. Dez now on this Black Panther off of the Hella. And I think that might be some nice dive they could get going down, assuming Dez gets in the right position. Final judgment now from Farthy. Members of FIU just lining up, although Cosmic Yarn Amplifier goes down, immediately going to get shredded by that ultimate. And now Ohio's taken some great space here. Farthy will find Oleg, and now they're up in these ultimates somewhat. Blankets will have this dance ready. Grifty with the Strangling Prism will pop it now.
We do have these ult available. The fate of both worlds coming out from Blankets, trying to stop any of the damage of FIU, but Lenier with a dunk, a nice Meteor M to seal that deal. Leoki will get the res onto Blankets. However, we're seeing these Punishers with picks in this fight now. There's another one from Farthy. Oh, a Meteor M from Lava as well to pick up Oleg. And that's looking like Ohio State's in a very nice position here to close out this match. The Panthers kind of swapped some stall here. Captain America, Mr. Fantastic. They're ready to make it an overtime push.
It's not over yet. Does find Geo-Ran. And we definitely see FIU on some of these contest heroes. Bendy, though, finding Dez. Lenier finding Farthy, and now that's FIU that's up in players. Flaky's with this dance down is going to be very huge. Bendy's going to use this Brainiac bounce with Oleg's final judgment. That might be plenty of damage just to shut down this push now in overtime. Grifty has already used this portal. Not going to have that Eye of Agamotto. That's going to be 2 picks from the DPS. No members of Ohio up to touch. Dez doesn't get it, and that's going to be FIU making this hold on Ohio just short of last point.
Yeah, those swaps that came out, like we were saying, I mean, just very contest heavy. That Mr. Fantastic, hard to kill. Captain America, hard to kill. Being kept alive by some insane strategist players. And Panthers, yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you hold off that point. Now, they didn't get that full 3 cap, but they did get it right at the end of that point. Panthers are pretty much going to have to push it all 3 points anyway just to win this one. But this time it means that they will win it, in fact. If they do match that push, there won't be an overtime. So yeah, I think we're just going to see Panthers play extremely well here. They know how to do this. They've played many games. They're in the grand finals. They are the higher seed. This should be easy for them, right? You know? It's nothing they haven't done before.
Sure.
Yeah, and I mean, important to note too, they are in the upper finals as well. They were the ones that previously beat OSU here, looking to make the same thing happen once again. And important to note the format that this works, because OSU is coming from the losers bracket. I believe if OSU wins this, we're gonna be going to a second match, and it's gonna be up to the teams to decide if they want to do a best of 3 or a best of 5, just depending on time. It is already almost 11 p.m. But OSU, if they're looking to win this grand finals, they're in for a long night.
They certainly are, and I mean, they're definitely prepared to do this. They have that longevity. We're seeing the portal on the high ground right away, coming out from this Panthers push. Oleg finding a quick pick onto Dez. Will get rezzed by that Laoki rocket beacon. Panthers up in the fight just for a few seconds more. Now it's evened out. Fighting up on this high ground as well, really meeting FIU head on, not letting them take any space over them. But it's seeming like Panthers are looking to kick down this door. Picks everywhere now, and that might be them taking this first point very quickly.
Yeah, I think this Hulk team up is just a phenomenal counter. You can definitely see Ohio State wasn't ready for it. Despite having these hit scan heroes, they're really struggling against Bendy, and I think a big part of that is Linear and Angry getting up close and personal. You're not exactly gonna have the freedom to just look up and shoot Bendy out of the sky. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Ohio possibly make some swaps to help deal with that. And that might even just come into positioning, not even the heroes. Like Dez playing up top, maybe calling out the Bendy on the flank. But I mean, already we see FIU up on these ultimates. Bendy, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a nice flank. That a maximum pulse is going to be a great counter to Blankets if Blankets tries to ult.
Does the same thing that a Meteor M does, maybe a little more direct even. We're seeing the push back now from Panthers as they were getting pushed back by Farthy on that final judgment. We see the maximum pulse from Bendy pick up Dez right after that beacon got used. You won't see Dez for a minute here. Panthers know that. They're looking to get aggressive, but we're seeing the dance battle right in the front of point. Anaya Agamotto to hit a bunch, though, from Linear. Really helping out Panthers win this fight, and that is exactly how you do it.
Yeah, beautiful ultimate from Linear as well as Angry. That Hulk smash is doing some work, diving the remaining members of Ohio, and now they're capping this second point with an extra, I want to say 3 minutes on the timer. That's an impeccable time. Ohio making swaps. Dez now onto this storm, trying to match the pressure in the sky. But right now, I mean, FIU is keeping this payload rolling. Bendy just already having this next Iron Man ultimate ready to go. Farthy pops the final judgment now. Maximum Pulse comes out, finds no one though. Farthy finds 2, both of the tanks.
You kind of played a little safe there for a second. Walked up, you know you have, I think it's 10 seconds in that final Judgment Punisher ultimate. Really able to just play safe for a second, walk up, take that space, find those kills, and overall stop the push that's coming out of FIU here. Just like that, we have them back up in this fight. Soul Resurgence popped from Georan. Now making it a dance party with Flaky's Fate of Both Worlds. Horn of Proteus committed and picks up 3. Panthers now with picks on the board, looking to get this payload ever closer to finishing this round.
Yeah, that's going to be a team kill on the side of FIU. Phenomenal job. That was a great ultimate from Oleg. However, that is now going to put 4 minutes on the timer for FIU to push these last remaining meters. About 15 now. Ohio has a decent amount of ultimates to work with now. Farthy on this Wolverine, I want to point out, it's going to be a big player, especially into this. Groot Storm ultimate comes out from Dez and will help secure most of the team. We only saw 2 kills there, but I want to say that contributed to every single one, and that's going to result in another retaliating team kill from Ohio now, regaining this control.
And I mean, 3:30 on the clock, looking a little rough, but they are going to have some ultimates ready. They are going to have this triple support comp now with the res on Grifty and Laoki, just really opting for this survivability.
Yeah, we did see Bendy swap that Wolverine and then realize that Ohio State put the Groot away. Now on the Mr. Fantastic, but Farthy picking up Angry Crayons and plenty here, proving to be quite the problem for the Vanguards out of the side of FIU. Might have to see maybe swapping off of the 2 tanks, maybe to something like the 3 damage, the 3 supports. We will have to see what the call is, but for right now, we have Ohio State doing their due diligence, running off FIU, chunking away at that massive time bank they had. Fate of both worlds pop from both
it feels
teams.
like we're seeing Farthy just 1v6ing up in the front, getting some help now from Blankets. Final Judgment comes out from Oleg. Brainiac bounce. Oleg will find 3, and that's going to be 4 members dead from Ohio, making it 5, picking up that. That's going to be a 5-man from Oleg. Stormolt's going to come out from Dez for this contest on point, retaliating with a Cosmic Yarn Amplifier. I think that's going to be enough healing to keep the damage up. However, looking for some last-minute contest. 1 meter, Meteor M comes out from both sides. We'll find Grifty. That's going to be a support down on Ohio. Not going to have that res ready. Laoki falling as well. 1 meter left. It's looking real rough for Ohio as we get the pull. That's a pick onto Oleg. However, I do think with just Dez left for this contest, I think that might just be it for Ohio as FIU takes T'Challa.
Yeah, taking that second map, bringing the score overall 1-1, letting Ohio know that they are in this to win this as well. They made it all the way. They're not ready to lose in 3-0. Saying, you want some, let's see it. You guys got that first round, we're coming back in the second, and now it's really up to either team here in this third round to make that name again, make that statement, saying that, yep, we are 1 up, we are on the series point, and you're gonna have to fight even harder.
Yeah, now bringing the score 1-1. We will be seeing minimum 2 more maps, but I'm expecting I guess 3. And I think while we're waiting to get into our third map, now we're just going to take a very brief break, and we will catch you guys in just a moment.
All right, and welcome back. We are in on our third match here. The current score is 1-1. This map will break that. One team will go up to match point, series point here. And if that's Ohio State, they will have to play another game as they did come out of that lowers bracket. This is going to be a long one, I think. I think we might go to that second game. Ohio's looking very good tonight. How do you think they're looking, Althea?
Well, I think it's the type of thing where I would love to see a second game, but I don't think we can stand on either side. Just looking at how both of these first maps have gone, it's really back and forth either way. Just when FIU is looking down, they come back even stronger, and then when OSU is looking down, they come back even stronger. And it's just something you love to see build back and forth. Already we can see the two standard bans, that Star-Lord and the Bucky, and then FIU saving this Human Torch, Ohio actually keeping that Wolverine, recognizing that the little work it did on that defense was a significant amount, and banning that Invisible Woman heavily just as a counter to that Human Torch.
Yeah. Farthy on that Wolverine, I'm not sure if Panthers really have too much of an answer for it. Looking very strong, and when Groot is in play, or the Magneto even, I mean, having that Wolverine, being able to isolate those tanks is huge sometimes in these fights, leading to sometimes these first kills. These Wolverines go up in damage. They get those ultimates, and it's usually a very nice showing. And we're seeing the Magneto save here from FIU, and I think we could see just that.
Yeah, we're going to see a Hawkeye save as well from Ohio, and I was just about to say I'm expecting a Hulk ban. The strongest we've seen FIU is with that team up, with an Iron Man and with a Namor. You could ban the Namor and get it out. You could ban the Iron Man, but banning that Hulk just gets rid of it altogether, prevents you needing to run that Hela, prevents you needing to run all of that, and overall just a generally great ban, similar to Rocket. That team up, that combo, or sorry, not, I guess we have actually seen quite a few Punisher, but I was going to say the utility from that beacon getting so much value each fight, that's unsurprising to see the ban from FIU. I'm interested to see as well this Magneto save. I was wondering if they felt a little threatened about possibly it getting banned. They definitely felt strong on it, but I think that's something like we haven't seen Lava swap off of that too much, so.
Yeah, and I think for this exact map, the Magneto and the Thing that FIU is hovering could go very hard here. Could be a very strong comp, I think. Actually, I was thinking it was more attack-oriented. What we're seeing, okay, yeah, there we're seeing a little bit of a swap for the defense. Linear onto this Venom instead. Venom with the Mantis Luna, Hela, Psylocke, and the Magneto. Not our everyday comp, but I think it could be a very strong one, especially in the hands of the skilled players out of FIU.
Yeah, definitely. You can kind of see the idea of it. They're running for that just general great utility with the Magneto. Gonna have Hela shooting in the background, causing some damage with the helps of the supports, and then Bendy and Lenny are just causing some disrupt in the back, getting some nice damage down, getting some distractions while Oleg is getting that damage. Ohio, however, just opting with this team that we've seen before, Laoki running this Adam instead. That's going to be a very nice soul bond to have available. Picks going both way. Bendy finds two. Thankfully, Laoki will have the res, will still fall though. And that's going to be 3 picks to FIU. Looks like 3 onto Ohio as well. It's going real back and forth.
It is. This fight is just, as soon as someone gets a pick, it's responded right away. We've seen it all the way up. I think Bendy and Oleg were the only ones up right at that second there. Bendy on the Psylocke doing some crazy work, securing some of those early picks, already has that Dance of the Butterfly available. And I'm sure we're going to see it come out in a contest way right here. There it is. Magneto Bubble comes through to save one with the dash and more. They will be able to pick up those kills. And Grifty even committed that Groot ult.
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate to see in that back line. Beautiful ult from Bendy there, and great retake. I was going to say it would have been decent for Ohio as they're able to just come back and retake this. However, down that support ult, or sorry, that tank ult, I think might make a decent difference. You see Farthy here now just kind of lingering, looking for a nice pull, sees Oleg. Hella ult will come out. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that get shredded. Fate of both worlds popped. Oleg will actually find Dez.
Yep. Finding Dez through Blanket's ultimate is very unfortunate for OSU there. They're even popping this Soul Resurgence from Laoki. Flakies did respond with one of their own with that damage boost, giving Lenier the ability with that Feast of the Abyss, executing those targets. And now FIU have drained Ohio State down to just 1:40 left in their bank. They do have some ults, but so does the side of FIU. Bendy, yet another Dance of the Butterflies available.
Yeah, that's a very quick charge from that. FIU making a decent hold here. Minute and a half now for Ohio to push the second point. 3, almost 4 ultimates ready. Farthy's still standing on this, sitting on this last stand. Oleg finding another beautiful opening pick onto Dez. Dance of the Butterflies as well. Oleg finding Laoki as well. And it's looking very close to like what I mentioned was happening to FIU on the first map was the fights were just being decided before they even started with an opening pick. And we see that from Oleg on this Hella doing exactly what this team comp is meant to do. You see Lenier and Bendy just diving in, causing some big disruptions. Angry, eating any possible damage that slips through, and then Oleg just causing so much damage in the back. Ohio just can't keep up with it. And that's something you might want to see that Strange for the shield. But now we see Ohio pop some ultimates now. Last Stand comes out, gets slept by Q-Ran though, and will still fall. That's a trade.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good here now for the side of Ohio State. The Fate of Both Worlds comes out from Flakies, but will get struck down by Lava's Mirem. And just like that, with committing, I think, all of their ultimates, Ohio State will be able to cap this first point. Not just yet! We do have a touch from Lenier. Full Resurgence pop from Georan! They're looking to make it an overtime push. Feast of the Abyss comes down. Bendy picks up Dez. A Meteor-M in the sky could be huge for Angry Crayon! A pick onto Laoki, the goddess of death, and this is all going wrong for Ohio State as FIU will retain that point, win that fight, and stop them before that first point.
We've been waiting for Lenier to make some game-changing plays, and we see it there. Beautiful contest on that Venom, followed up by an amazing ultimate from Georan. Just phenomenal job on that retake. I thought that was it. They'd committed everything from Ohio, and I mean, I thought, yeah, it's just going to the second point. Lenier coming out of left field for that contest. That is just a phenomenal retake and a devastating blow to Ohio now, as they have to do a better hold than that.
Mm-hmm. They have to match that. That is a tough act to follow. FIU looking insane on that defense there. I mean, that not only plays a part into the game that we're playing here, that's also a play of the mental game out of the side of Ohio State here, knowing that they're good enough as a team to absolutely win against FIU. They took that first map off of them. The second one didn't quite go their way, but we're seeing almost a full hold in the third map. I think it's just FIU really starting to turn up here. They got on these solid picks that they know best. And, I mean, as you saw it there, they're stopping them before that first point.
Yeah, FIU now setting up for this attack is actually going to opt, I was going to say, maybe opting for this more aggressive route. They had the Iron Man. I think that was just for the sights. But going to keep this same comp of this dive, just playing aggressive. We see Farthy actually get a beautiful pull, though, onto Lenier. The Venom's going to be one of the harder tanks to kill. Dez falling early to Bendy, just like that. No res in the pocket. Oleg finding Laoki now, and it's all looking rough for Ohio as they are just being ran down. Lava falling low. That's the tanks down now, and that's going to be the members of Ohio dead and walking back from spawn. I'm curious if they'll be able to make this contest.
Yeah, they do have some members up for the contest. I'd like to mention, I think this game is just really being decided by these DPS. We're seeing Bendy and Oleg, especially Bendy. I'd like to give the Psylocke some credit here out of Panthers, finding a lot of these opening picks, doing an incredible job. Has that Dance of the Butterfly available. It comes out as soon as that Magneto bubble is expanded. But too many targets to find a pick, as we will see Dez and Farthy respond with some for Ohio State.
Bendy will find the trade. Lava will find Georan now. That's down a support for FIU. Flaky's is just going to fall all the way back. Not going to bother with that. Going to leave the rest of the members to fall back, and that's a beautiful contest from Ohio. However, I think we got a very late use of Blanket's ultimate, something that we possibly could have waited on, but they are going to have Laoki up now, and it's looking decent for Ohio now, have some ultimates to work with. But like you said, I think it's all going to come down to these DPS and these opening picks. It's what's really deciding these fights. Immediately, we're seeing Lava falling low. Meteor M's close, but not there yet.
Ooh, Farthy, a nice pick onto Oleg. The Meteor M from Angry Crayon will not find its mark. A huge last stand from Farthy. Dez now with a nice pick onto Georan. Gets picked up right away by Angry Crayon. There's a second one for Angry Crayon. The Dance of the Butterfly as well coming out, but this point has yet to be capped. There are members of OSU still up. I'm sure this touch will come through, but it's going to be a question of how long. Another last stand is available. Comes down, but will get picked up.
Yeah, we see Dez swapping this Hawkeye, trying to get it. Oleg, though, with this 3K. Last contest from Ohio, Laoki making the swap to the Jeff. Lava now on this Venom contest, trying to live up to Linear. Will not, will fall now too. That's going to be the last member of Ohio falling, and that is going to be FIU with a beautiful take on Yigsguard.
Yeah, that was just incredible play. That is picture perfect, exactly how you want that defense to go down. Maybe it got a little too close for their liking at the end of that first point, but just an incredible touch, an even better hold, and that is FIU turning up in the third match, now going up 2-1 in the series. They are on the series point here. If they win this next match, they will be crowned our grand final champion.
Yeah, grand champion is definitely one title to have. Looking at this match too, definitely the big players was Bendy. We see that on the scoreboard now. I mean, MVP, most elims, most damage, and I mean, just overall phenomenal job. It felt like Oleg as well. Bendy was really getting a lot of the cleanup work is the wrong word. A lot of the just in-fight picks. Oleg was really dealing with the opening fights and really shifting the tide of the battle right at the beginning in favor of FIU, and I think that's a big player in it. DPS, significant plays. I think OSU definitely can respond in a few ways that they didn't there. I think we maybe could have seen the Doctor Strange. A shield would have been very significant against that Hela. And I guess one last member to point out is definitely Linear with literally a game-saving contest on that Venom. That is what that hero is meant to do.
Yeah, it was just absolutely incredible from the side of FIU there. Like you were saying, the DPS, yeah, just looking too good for FIU there. Bendy and Oleg doing what they do best, picking up those kills, laying down the damage, and overall helping FIU be able to secure that third map. And now we are going to be going to our fourth map. I believe it is a control, maybe? I forget the rotation of the modes.
Yeah, I think we just go back to control. I mean,
back to control? Okay.
Yeah, control and then convergence. Or
Yeah.
yes, because this was escort. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, so we're
We're in
going.
the finals. We've done this before. Yeah.
Yeah. We know what we're doing. We're going to Wakanda, which I think. Yeah, so we're going to like the waterfall spaceport. Yes. Okay, I see.
There we go.
Yeah. That is going to be the pick of. I believe that is OSU with that, right, Leoki?
I believe so. And I mean, it's good to note that Ohio State did get their win in the series on that control point. That first round, they were pretty dominant. I mean, they did lose one of the control rounds. It did go, I believe it was 2-1. But overall, OSU did pull away with that win. And now I'm sure they're looking to even the score in this fourth map. But I think we're going to take just a quick break. We should just be a few minutes. Go grab a drink, go to the bathroom. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Welcome back. We are here now in T'Challa on domination, and it's now up to FIU to secure this win. Ohio now looking to keep themselves from losing, stay in this, really adapt to what they've learned these past two games and adapt these bans. Already we're seeing the standard picks so far. I'm expecting a possible Human Torch save. Maybe even the Hela. I mean, we saw some great work from Oleg on that as well. Yeah, gonna opt for that Human Torch still.
Yeah, I think it's just going with a little bit of bread and butter here for FIU. Keeping what worked into the second and third maps potentially. Really leaving Ohio State with these saves and bans to really make a difference for the side of Ohio State here. The Wolverine save again for Farthy, I would imagine. And now will it just be the Invisible Woman? It will be the Psylocke instead. Realizing Bendy's game on Psylocke is maybe a little too strong.
I'm wondering if that might result in an Invisible Woman save from FIU now. It is available. They're allowed to have this team up. And that would just make Human Torch pretty unstoppable if they make that happen. But, I mean, already they're going to get this Loki ban, preventing Blankets and Grifty, from that team up. They are going to get that Invisible Woman save, and now that is going to be one dangerous team up. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Thing as well. And we even saw some Mr. Fantastic come out. We could see the whole Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four is definitely viable now. Mr. Fantastic got some love as well as the Human Torch. And now it's actually looking like maybe one of the better team-ups in the game, giving that survivability to all of the other members. I mean, it just might be the call for FIU to go here.
Yeah, Ohio, I expect these bans. Hawkeye was one of their better picks with this Wolverine. Definitely the strongest DPS they had going for them. The Hulk as well. Definitely a hard counter, and this Rocket ban. That's to be expected. And now I'm expecting fairly similar comps here. I'm honestly feeling like we might see the Fantastic Four, although, yeah, Groot is available. The question is, if they know they're going to be playing it into this Wolverine, is it even smart trying it?
Yeah, I mean, Farthy, we've seen be quite the danger on that Wolverine, and Groot is in quite a lot of danger. Wolverine's play. So we will have to see what the picks here. Maybe FIU doesn't win this first fight, maybe, and decides to make those swaps. I mean, we've seen both teams make swaps throughout tonight, throughout the seasons. They're very strong teams in and of their own, and I'm sure, you know, we might even see a mirror comp looking a little bit, not too much, right?
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Farthy off of that Wolverine just because it is one of those saves. They are looking to run it. Dez, though, is going to try with this Human Torch. Maybe they're just causing some damage with each other at the side, though. Bendy is actually going to pick this Wolverine as well. So I think we will see a mirror matchup going into this one, except for the Thing and the Groot difference.
Yeah, which is a pretty big difference when you... that was a nice fastball. It's a pretty big difference when you go into this, knowing that Groot can get pulled by that Wolverine, and the Thing cannot. We saw the Invisible Woman! Georan with a nice push off the map. Didn't secure anyone. Very close to, however. And now, as this point is about to unlock, Oleg with a nice first pick for the match. Bendy following it up with a second. And just like that, FIU up in picks will start to cap this point very shortly here, I believe.
Yeah, FIU already having this advantage in the picks and the ultimate charge for the most part. I mean, 70% of the Strangling Prism, 80% with Flaky's having this ultimate now, up from Blanket 65. It's looking a little rough for Ohio. Just, I feel like in general, this Groot is opening FIU up to more positioning, and that's why we're going to see Grifty making the swap. However, he's going to get a very nice pull. The bubble from Lava is not going to be enough to help. Though Farthy grabbing Bendy will get a nice pull. Last Stand comes out, will get answered by Flaky's. And now that's a battle going down on point right now, and we see Leoki just looking for a nice push.
The Invisible Boundary is available for FIU. They do commit both of the support ults, as well as Ohio State committing both of theirs now. Supernova is available, and the Meteor M coming out from FIU, looking to try to shut the door, but Ohio State responding with ults of their own. And I think getting the picks that matter to start capping this point.
For sure. Lava here beaten the allegations, getting some very nice picks on point now. Ohio gaining control of this now. 60%. Stopping there isn't too horrible. That's 1 or 2 fights lost, but up in here, making the swaps they need to, proving that maybe the this new team comp is working for them. And I mean, all it is a mirror matchup, and that's pretty good. Farthy on this defense is going to have a great position for a pull. However, FIU, knowing this choke is not going to work out, will take this high ground. And was that a beautiful pull from Bendy onto Griffey, basically into their spawn. I mean, I didn't even see them. Yeah, that was a kidnapping if I've ever seen one.
Oh, Wolverines giving each other a hug at the bottom there. No one making any space with it. The Invisible Boundary came out from Leoki, as well as some more ults from the side of Ohio State. And with that, they are actually running off Panthers, sending them kind of back to their spawn right now, really not letting them make any space, as they're very close to matching the percentage that FIU has. They're looking to take this fight, I'm sure, as quick as they can.
Yeah, FIU now on this attack, looking really strong with the ultimates. 80% is their lowest now. Ohio, on the other hand, only has blankets to respond. I don't know if it's going to be enough. They already find 2 beautiful picks. Flaky's is actually going to respond now. Oleg will find 2. And I think that's just going to be cleaning up Ohio now as they're trying to get contest from Dez and Farthy.
A bit of a Human Torch off in the sky there. Dez will just regroup with the rest of his team Now we see FIU having to make up a bit of the percentage difference that Ohio State has on them right now before they start taking the lead. We do see the ultimate line available for FIU. Everyone but Flakies. But Ohio State also has a lot of ultimates of their own. Strangling Prison came out early for Angry Crayon. Trying their best to do anything, but Oleg finds Farthy. Meteor M's, Supernovas, we're seeing it all. I think picks are still going both ways.
Yeah, not really too sure yet. That is a beautiful last stand from Bendy, finding 3. I don't even know if it was needed. It felt like just a flourish at that point. I don't know if they were making it to point or not, but regardless, beautiful ultimate. FIU now capping Warrior Falls, and now it is truly match point. With this last point, it is all up to OSU to win this map, win the next one, and then assuming they get that reset, win that as well. It is, the odds are stacked against them right now, but I have full faith in them to make it happen. FIU is looking real strong right now, though.
Yeah, they are. They're not looking to make it easy for OSU. Telling them that, you know, we're in this grand finals, this #1 spot for a reason. And they're looking to make it #1, the grand champions, with this last round. Potentially, one more time, we will go into this round. With a Jeff? No, okay, just getting the bubbles.
That's just the speed. Yeah, gonna lose some ult charge doing that. You gotta think, is it worth it for that ult charge, for the little bit of speed you get? And maybe, the tanks already have this high ground. Definitely looking nice.
Yeah, potentially.
I definitely think Angry Crayon is going to be at the slight advantage with these group walls on this point, giving themselves the cover that Lava and Grifty might not be able to give themselves. However, I think the health pool is just enough to be able to run them down. Getting stuck in the middle here, luckily the map, they can just get out. Invisible Boundary comes out from Laoki, not really in response to much, maybe to just keep the tank up, force the team off. I assume just trying to get this early touch, but a beautiful pull from Bendy, and then followed up by another pull from Georan.
And just like that, Panthers starting to pick up some members for themselves. Now, the point did get capped by OSU, but I think Panthers might have been up, now pretty much opting for a regroup instead. The clobbering time comes down from Grifty, but Flakies has that Fate of Both Worlds as a response. Blankets also pops theirs. Just really doing a lot of damage, building these ult charges right now. Last stand came down. Didn't find the one that mattered for Georan. We're still seeing even more ults. I believe it's Panthers starting to win this fight.
Yeah, not over yet as Laoki is still here, just doing what they can on point. Dez, though, will leave them to die and fall all the way back. And yeah, Ohio, it felt like they were on the back end of the fight most of the time. However, thanks to Laoki's Invisible Boundary at the start, they were able to get that cap, giving them the point advantage. So right now, they are still in the lead. Doesn't get the pull from Farthy. Dez is going to pop this ultimate now. Meteor M will come out to eat those shots. Won't find anything, though. Dez will find Oleg.
Yeah, and then followed up with Flakies doing good work in the sky. Falling critically low, but being kept alive. And there we're seeing Ohio State find the picks, stop FIU's capture percentage, and now start to put themselves even further ahead.
Yeah, for sure. I like the position Ohio has here. Map will break, though. That's a beautiful take from them. Now looking, ultimate-wise, pretty good. They're right there on the brink of 4 ultimates compared to FIU, really only at close to 2, and even that's at 70%. So not only are they holding this, they're going to be up in this ultimate. They're going to have this defensive, which is going to be great for the Wolverine to set up and get a pull onto Angry. Clobbering time will come out, but a beautiful ultimate from Flakies to answer. Last stand will fight 3, pulling them out of it. Flakies will respond. Georan still picks it up, though.
I mean, what a fight we're seeing. Like, that was incredible sequence of events there. But we do see FIU pulling out ahead just for the time being, as we're seeing Blankets now pop the fate of both worlds, keep the rest of OSU alive, even though it might not be too many right now. They won't die. They will have the contest until the rest of until the rest of them get up. We do see the Supernova available, but with Bendy finding those 2 picks, that will be it.
Yeah, now back onto this go-to Hella pick. We saw the capabilities of it on Yigsguard, and it's definitely a scary one, especially for Dez. Now in the air, beautiful strangling Prism for just a quick execute. I mean, it felt like a jump scare as they came around the corner there, hitting 4 members of Ohio, picking them up real quick. Ohio now down on ultimates pretty significantly. Both teams missing their support ultimates. But Lava and Dez are going to have theirs ready, as well as Linear and Bendy. And Oleg is going to pop it. Meteor M comes out as well, gets popped.
And that kind of leaves the DPS ults to kind of free farm. Bendy even found Dez there too. Farthy with a nice pull onto someone, trying to pick up any kill they can. Another last stand comes down, but still unable to find any picks. A Supernova in response from Dez, starting to get eaten by that Meteor M. And now FIU matched their percentage too.
Yeah, I think we will see a strange portal for the contest, and it all comes down to this for Ohio. They have this invisible boundary. That's a beautiful pull onto Angry Crayon. Flaky's pops this ult, but just a little too late. Dez does find him. Grifty has this clobbering time ready for when it ends, but Georan's going to have their invisible boundary up, and that's going to be the support ultimate in advantage of FIU. Beautiful stun, though, finding Georan, but the invisible boundary will still come out first. Angry now on Captain America for the contest, and we see picks going neither way just yet. Damage going out. Linear will fall to Dez. I have Agamotto ready for Lava. Ooh, Grifty will fall. I have Agamotto comes out, finds nothing.
Now on this point, trying to finish it. Bendy with that Goddess of Death, finding Blankets. We're seeing the picks for FIU now come through. There's a second one onto Farthy. Lava falls, and that just might be it for the side of Ohio State. They are desperately trying to get this touch. I think Grifty is the closest, but it will be just too far away. And there we have FIU Panthers taking the game, taking the tournament. Number 1, they are your grand champions.
Yeah, congratulations to FIU. Beautiful 3-1 take as well. OSU looking like they were struggling just a little bit. They had some great ultimates, some great combos as well. I think there were just a few things they could have done differently. Their picks and bans, maybe they could have altered them just a little bit more, a little more targeting. And, I mean, maybe that Star-Lord you're first banning every time may not have been that bad compared to Bendy's Hella, for example. But overall, phenomenal job. Definitely showed a lot more life in this last map. And I love to see it between these 2 games. It's been a really long season. But overall, FIU Panthers are your grand champions.
Yeah, and we've seen this team many times throughout the ladder. In the playoffs too, they've just been a whole nother level. They are extremely dominant. They're very skilled players. And just like that, they are the grand champions. Like we've said a couple times already now. GG's to both teams, however. We really appreciate everyone showing up. The teams here, the players, everyone for sticking it through, seeing it to the end. And, you know, we really just couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah, for sure. So, for one final time, thank you guys all for coming out, tuning in for this game and the rest of the matches throughout the season. I'm Althea or Noah, joined by Inferno and our observer Beldia. Thank you guys so much for watching, and always I wanted to say, don't forget to tune into the rest of the ECAC streams, but that may or may not be the end of the season.
Yeah, I think that might wrap it up. The rest of the games did finish, I believe, so we might just have to catch everyone next season, or maybe there might be something during the summer, but we'll have to just see what happens.
Yep. But thank you guys all, and have a fantastic night. And one final good game to both teams. Congratulations to FIU on the win.